Okay, let's see what they wrote about the second game. After playing 2 rook a3, my opponent wrote in the chat, "I am Magnus Carlsen." And when the rook was captured, he wrote, "Now we play chess." It took me a couple of moves to be completely sure it's not Magnus. My question is, as a grandmaster, looking at the chess, by which move number, can you tell the fact that it is not Magnus Carlsen? So, I don't know if this is written in jest or he's serious. I don't know. So, I'll answer as bluntly as I can. Magnus Carlsen isn't going to play you. And if somebody tells you that there's somebody famous, that's not who it is. That's what the internet is people pretending to be other people. So the chances you're playing Magnus Carlsen are less than 0%. And I don't know what number that is, but talk to some mathematician about it. And if the guy says he's Magnus Carlsen in a chat, that makes it even more unlikely that it's Magnus. Okay, you're never going to play Magnus or see Magnus or touch Magnus. And if you think about him, you might go to jail. So, yeah. But maybe you were kidding. I don't know. Yeah, it might have been Jimmy Fallon. That's possible. Yeah, I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. How would you know it's not Magnus Carlsen? But maybe you're kidding, so I don't know. Okay, so here's what happened. This is a very long story, and I like stories. So it's also very strange that I saw this. Okay, for some reason, I woke up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And about 5 or 6 in the morning, I went on chess.com on my phone and I clicked like watch, and there was a list of the top games. And one of them was Naroditsky versus some guy. And Naroditsky wasn't streaming. So I started watching the games, and the guy played a4, rook a3 with white, and a5, rook a6 with black. So my best guess was it was Magnus, and he was just playing that against Naroditsky because they were playing about even. One of them was slightly ahead, but it was relatively even the score. They had played 50, 60 games, and nobody had a big advantage. But, you know, I figured Magnus said to Danya, "Let's play some blitz. I want to try this opening out." And Danya said, "Fine." Then I heard the next day that person was banned for being an engine, which doesn't make a lot of sense because I think if it was an engine, it would do better against Naroditsky than like whatever the score was at 3 minute playing like that. I think if it was a strong engine, it would still just beat Naroditsky. Anyway, then a couple of days after that, Grandmaster Jacobson, American Grandmaster, wrote a very long, lengthy post about how that was him, and he studied the opening with his friend, and wasn't using an engine, and the account was banned, but that's his account, and I want my account back, like I'm complaining about it, and that chess.com, it's falling on deaf ears. Chess.com doesn't believe him or something. I don't know. So then, after that happened, funnily, Magnus started playing this line when I thought it was Magnus originally, but it wasn't. Because I thought Magnus is the only person who could score that well against Naroditsky in 3 minute by playing that stupid opening. So then he played it in Title Tuesday, and then now people are playing it because it's funny. And when I was growing up as a kid, you know, people wanted to play good chess. And internet didn't exist, so you would have chess books and you would go to a chess club and you would have your friends come over your house and analyze chess. And you're trying to play good chess. You're like, what did Petrosian play? What did Spassky play? What did Fischer play? What did Karpov play? And those kinds of people. And then like, let's play like them because they're good and we're not. And that's been replaced from the top players in the world demonstrating to the gawking rabble what good opening chess is. Gawking rabble got past that. They don't care about that anymore. What gawking rabble care about is people who are popular but not very good at chess, suggesting and analyzing openings that are relatively absurd and obviously not best. And the point is, nobody cares about it being the best. They just think that people who are influencers and streamers and popular should decide what the openings are now. So, well, I'm giving a lecture tomorrow at my usual lecture on Monday on this weird opening, which I didn't know what it was when I was lecturing on it, where white goes knight here and knight takes f7 in the Carol Khan, the alien gambit. And there's a lot of openings now that are basically nonsense, like the Stafford Gambit, which are popular because popular people like talk about them. And that's what's popular now. So if you want to get good at chess and be a grandmaster, you have to ignore the nonsense on the internet. And most people nowadays don't want to do that. They want to play blitz on the internet while they're getting high and while they're drinking. And then that's half the people, the other half are cheating. And it just became like an amalgam of nonsense. So chess became nonsense. And chess.com likes to help with that by making weird bots with, cartoony kind of things. And then Gotham Chess and Eric Rosen espouse these terrible openings. And that's what's popular now. So when you see something absurd in the opening, that can get popular if somebody famous is talking about it. And whether or not it's good isn't relevant anymore. Now, obviously, if you're want to be the world champion someday, like Gukesh or Prague or Abdusattorov or, guys like that, you ignore all of that. But the troll game is very high with Magnus, and he's the first world champion that I can think of, maybe the only one, who is just a troll. And all the silliness that exists in the chess world now, Magnus embraces that. He likes hanging out with the chess bras. He likes hanging out with Botez. He likes to play silly openings that are absurd. He likes the new trends, and he likes to play 1-minute chess and 3-minute chess and 5-minute chess. And before that wasn't the case. People like Fischer and Kasparov and Karpov, they wanted to play slow chess, and they wanted to play perfectly, and they wanted to be world champion as long as possible. And those kinds of norms don't exist anymore. Magnus, as the world champion, doesn't care about being world champion. He doesn't care about slow chess as much as other kinds of chess. And he likes playing internet tournaments, and he likes playing really silly in the opening, like when him and Hikaru played the Bong Cloud and started laughing. So chess is a lot different now than it used to be. A lot of chess is just zany now. Whereas in the 70s or 80s, if you played, A4, Rook A3, your opponent might just stop playing the game with you because you're not being serious or you're not good. And now it's just that's funny, and that's what's happening now, so I'm going to do it. And that's the world we live in now. is we live in a world of nonsense. Nonsense rules. And I'll play these nonsensical openings too, because I find them amusing, but I'm retired. So my whole life was being very serious, playing slow tournaments and getting IM and GM norms, getting my ratings very high, winning high profile tournaments, playing as well as I could, trying to play top level theory and perfect calculation. And that's very stressful. And now that I'm retired, I don't play in slow tournaments anymore in the real world, I can be as silly as anybody else on the internet. What's weird about that is that Magnus does that. And Magnus still plays chess, but it's like he doesn't find chess serious. It's like it's funny now. So it's weird. I mean, it's like Magnus is like semi-retired. He just literally doesn't care about, And Hikaru also will, along with the other influencers, talk about silly openings and such. And I'm not immune from it. That's what the people want. They want to see nonsense. And that's why, sites like Twitter and Instagram, Facebook are popular, because it's all nonsense. I tell myself every day never to go on Twitter, and then like 5 seconds later, I'm on Twitter. So it's just, the whole world is nonsense now. Okay, so White knows about these games that Magnus played and that I guess Grandmaster Brandon Jacobson played, and thought it would be funny if he played it. Okay, so White's already losing. Then in this position, I like the way the engine plays Rook A1. I mean, the idea is to get your Rook out and be silly. And White played B3, which is a funny move because the Rook had the whole third rank and now it can't move. Okay, and these players are both about 1,600. This was a 3-minute game on chess.com. C6 doesn't make any sense. Why would you play C6? I don't understand why people make moves like that. Like C6 protects D5, which doesn't need protection. This can be developed. This can be developed. This pawn can go in the center. It's like you guys are bad at chess. So C6 just doesn't make any sense. But okay, I mean, the Rook is so stupid here. Black's always better. Yeah, and White's trying to sacrifice the exchange. That's the goal of playing Rook A3, is having the guy take it. And Black didn't take it. And Black didn't take it again. And Bishop E7. So, I mean, the whole game is just nonsense. Like, White's playing bad on purpose and thinks it's funny, and Black probably just didn't see Bishop takes Rook, would be my guess. Missed it 3 moves in a row. That's my guess. Okay, now he probably now saw it. He's like, I developed all my pieces. I castled. Oh, the Rook's hanging. So, that's probably saw it now. It's a 3-minute game, so. All right, so Black's up in exchange. White always sacked the exchange. Knight E5 is a silly move, trading everything. G4 hangs, knight takes E3 check. I mean, this looks like a game where just the players just learn the rules and they're just making legal moves. Like, why would you not take back? Why would you play knight C2? Yeah, knight A1, that's good idea. Yeah, and when you're down 2 exchanges and you're trying to attack your opponent, the important thing to do is to trade queens. So that's a good move. Just nobody cares about this pawn for the last 5 moves. and White resigned. I mean, that was like the 7 worst minutes of my life having to look at that game. I feel like, I'm owed something for looking at that. And so forth. They trying to learn. So White plays bad on purpose in the opening, and then after that both players play bad because they're bad players. And so forth. Anyway, this game is Kramnik approved because Kramnik thinks low-rated players can never play any good moves or good games ever. So he would be like, yeah, this is normal. Every move is bad. Kramnik would love this game. Thanks, Vartsanonk, for 5 subs. You're the best.